So we are live, people. Make sure you start getting to connect because today's word, the gospel according to Yashua, is powerful. Today is fire. Too much fire. Yeah, so make sure you're getting connected. I'm already in the studio. The king is already here. And I just want to blah, 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 blah and get you watching. All right. So, yes, people, let's go.
This is the voice out of Africa for the liberation of my people. Maponga Joshua, Mara, Chigarambok, Kugaramashambahuda. Down south, in the land of William Papa, these and endangered species, melanin, blackness, up, the black man. If any Tatah on Pan-African DTV, Afro TV.
Wonderful, wonderful. As you can see, we are light, we are up. Today, we are going to move on. I just want to reach out and find out how your day has been. How have you been digesting the message, the gospel? But before we go into finding out, I just want to give up or give the chance to King Maponga Joshua to give us or to bless and to invite our ancestors, the Most High, the powers that be, into this space as we look up to elevate our spirit and carry on our mission. Over to you, my King.
Our devotion and prayer for today to all our mothers, to all the wombs that have brought us into life, to our grandmothers, to our sisters, to the girl child, through whom the next generations will be born. We call life, we call for health, to all the queens of the continent and beyond, that let the light, let good health be found in your midst. Let your wombs be full of life, and may they bring forth life. Let not they be turned into tombs where deaths will occur. We want just to call for life today to our sisters, through whom we all have become. To those primordial waters that have birthed us, kept us for 9 months to make us life. We celebrate the women today, and all of us, male and female, we want a reflection back to the sources of life through whom we all have become. Let tonight be a night of good memory. Let tonight be a night of good connections, the repairing of broken bridges, broken relationships between mothers and their children. Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. Thank you, and I'm welcome all of you, the family that is joining us tonight on this 5th edition of the Pan-African Global Church with the Gospel according to Yashua Maponga III. Yes, today we want to, as we said yesterday, we are launching the 16th day on the gender-based domestic violence. And we hear these words, but what does our spirituality tell us about this? It's just about the role of the mother, of the girl child, of the woman. And because we connect at the spirituality level into our dominions of the Ma'at, the principles of Ma'at, which is reciprocity, trust, balance, justice, in all this. So today we want to put the balance We have seen that our systems have, particularly on the continent, has been in a kind of a patriarchy format that was not designed for creation. And so the gospel is really going to focus to put that balance in this species, in this gender. And so we can see, apart from just giving us the gospel here, King Maponga has been going on conferences for men, particularly doing lectures for men. How can we, bring the balance between our genders so that we can move, so that we can progress? So I want to thank all of you for joining, and that this message is going to be really, really brutal. I can say it is fire, it is hard, but it is light. This message might not sound the way pleasant to us and should not be. It's not meant to be, but it is meant for us to digest and to reposition ourselves. So we are on chapter 1, verse 6, 7, and 8 is what we're going to dwell in. And that's, according to the gospel, is actually positioning us on the aspect of women and humanity. So I'll just read the first 3 chapters, my king, or do you want to just say something about it before I go into that? If we look at the issue and the imbalance, and we try to position ourselves on the principles of Ma'at, what is the welcoming message before we get into reading the details of the text?
The best classroom we can learn from is nature, and nurture and nature. Those 2 words are very close to each other, and I think they incubate what Ma'at is all about. That our nature is to nurture everything around us, environment and relationships. And nature is basically balanced. Nature is balanced between the trinity of soil, water, and air. The nurture is balanced between males and females. Nature is balanced between negatives and positives. Nature is balanced. It is not polarized with one sex without the other. And in an African concept, nature is balanced between the father, the mother, and the child. And when you come to Christian theology, that presents to us a male-dominant theology. Is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, all of them being males. And then the males produce, now God the Father and God the Holy Spirit, both being hymns. They produce him, who is God the Son, which creates more or less in our earthly thinking a homosexual sort of imbalanced, male dominant, patriarchal theology starts right there, which creates an all-male environment. And if it was so, then why would we be talking about Adam and Eve? Why are we not talking about Adam and Steve? Why is the creation of man? And I'm using that because many of us understand from the biblical perspective. But we'll use that so that we can build a bridge between what you have been taught and what is the reality that is on the ground. That God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit are all males. But when you look at it carefully, that you have the male species, you have the female species, and you have the child species. In our ancient Egyptology and in our ancient African culture, that becomes the 3-legged pot, which shows the balance of the family, the mother, the father, and the child. That creates the trinity, which you would find in all Egyptian statues. That is the father, the male energy, the mother, the female energy, and the child, who is the result of the two. That creates the balance that we are talking about in terms of family. However, in African culture, the one that sits on the chair is not stronger than the one who is sitting on the floor or the smaller chair, which is the woman. Because the one who sits on a lower chair is carrying that which will sit on the bigger chair. So it is intertwined that women are actually carrying kings. The man who is sitting here is just sitting on the chair, holding it on behalf of what she is carrying. That will assume the position after he's gone. So maybe we just want to put this structure in the midst of female organizations, toxic femininity, male chauvinism, toxic masculinity. I would also want to talk about toxic childhood. There are children that are toxic because they've learned all these things on the social media. They've now become nuisance to their own parents. They become ungovernable. They are abusing their parents. So when you talk about gender-based violence, we're not only looking at males abusing women or females,
Correct.
or females
Correct.
abusing males. We also need to step further and look at children abusing their parents. So basically, we are looking at violence in all its forms, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in the church space, whether it be in the family circle, whether it is between the relationships of husband and wife, or relationships between children and their own parents. The basic word we are looking at is violence. So ultimately, we want to discuss what causes violence. Violence, one, is caused by psychological misunderstanding. It is caused by unmet demands. It is caused by an inheritance of negative behavior. It is caused also by bullying spirit of wanting to get things from people and not knowing the skills of how to ask for things without fighting for them. And ultimately, it is also caused by muscles. When you think that you are stronger and you want to express yourself in a violent way towards the other person. But right on top of the program, violence is not a solution. There are two words I want us to agree on as we start up the session. Word number one is aggression. Word number two is affection. Aggression and affection. We need to learn as Africans when to be aggressive. We need to learn as Africans, as Al-Kebalan, when to be affectionate. We need to be aggressive towards our enemies. We need to be affectionate towards each other, but particularly for the male species. Your aggression must never be the way of inducing affection. For when you are aggressive, it will always affect your erection. Oh, that's too many words in one line right there. Aggression, affection, and erection. Because you cannot have an erection while you're being aggressive. It doesn't work like that. The bridge between aggression and harmony of the home is affection. So to our children, to our partners, let us be affectionate. To our enemies, let us be aggressive. Unfortunately, colonialism has made us to become affectionate towards our oppressors and aggressive towards each other. This is the result why black on black violence, wife on male violence, child on parents violence, parents on children violence. You'll be violent to your own. And in the morning, you're going to be very nice talking to a white man who is oppressing you. He has stolen your land. He has killed your grandmothers and grandfathers, and you're going to be showing this affection. So I think we have misplaced emotions. Where we must be aggressive, we want to become affectionate. Where we must be affectionate, we want to become aggressive. So let us learn where to be aggressive and where to be affectionate. I thank you.
Thank you so very much. I mean, this is powerful. This is just so deep. I never thought about this. Aggression, affection, And when you even put erection, I mean, it just coils down everything. To be honest with you, those of you that will be joining this session and this global family here later on, you have to watch this session. And I can already guarantee you, we're going to chop up this session alone, just these 3 words, because I myself, I really need to go down to digest them. And that would be the word that would actually accompany these 16 days. We're talking about violence, whether you call it gender based. And I just hate that word. I said it from day one, gender based. And they begin to subdue the woman, the role of the woman, the role of the girl child. My king, before we even really go into this again, honestly, you have said something, and I would like you to articulate it from your own spirituality and your wisdom. This idea of women always being the weaker sex, women always have to be protected, and children and girls. And is that not a reverse in the power of the woman king, like you're saying? The role of the woman being an internal minister doesn't mean you are weaker than being outside. But the switching of this role just diminish the power, the greatness, the royalty, the decency, the intellect of the girl child, of our grandmothers. But if we look into who actually defeated the colonialists, was the Amazons. We all fought together, everybody playing his own role. So the issue of role, because that's what we're going to talk about today on this church this today, and I would like you to still really emphasize on that positioning. It is not about who is powerful or who, but why does the political systems and the systems always put the woman in a weaker state, even in the church?
I think it is coming from a very uninformed position where the leadership of our political systems have their marbles twisted. You cannot have a ministry of women affairs to be dealing with women's issues, women abuse, girl child this, girl child that. And yet the ones who are causing the problems are the males. So you find that we are working backwards. Instead of dealing with the problem, that is the toxic masculinity, disenfranchised men, politically violated masculinity, men that have lost their dignity. Servants and servants, men that are basically left as sperm donors. Men who have been made to feel useless in their own spaces. When you deal with, imagine, you destroy men to such a level. And ultimately, I'm not condoning violence. But when this species, we also maybe just need to turn our lenses to look at the causes. What is it that has affected men to be at such a level? And when men are at this level of even being called dogs, and the question is, how do men react, behave out of the violent political environment they're coming from, the violent spiritual space they're coming from, the violent cultural space they're living in, and the violent community which is breeding them?
Yes.
They are a product also of the community they're coming out from. So when a woman calls a man a dog, the question is, who gave birth to that dog? Who breastfed that dog? Who slept with that dog? And if male are dogs, then what are women on the other side? This would drain the whole conversation towards the less kosher kind of conversation. But in all honesty, the balance between males and females in our community development, We need that balance. We rather have a ministry of men affairs so that we deal with the root problem. Having a ministry of women affairs rather than a ministry of those that cause the need to promote one gender above the other. And
Wow, I don't know.
is my signal that bad?
It's really bad. It's yes. You're just breaking.
Is it is it my signal? Is it my signal?
It is your signal, yes. Just
Oh my
yeah.
word.
But I think it's getting more better. It's okay. It's much better. Probably
Much better.
you need to sound the trumpet.
I need to blow the horn. Okay, let me try
You
and
need,
move to my other.
it is
Let
okay.
me try and change my position. Let me
Right.
change my.
Okay, we give him some time, people, and I want to welcome all of you that are joining this mission today. It is very heartwarming to see all of you just jump into the space, into the global family to contribute and to participate. Because today's mission and the conversation for today on with the gospel according to Yashua Maponga, it's interesting. We want to focus on our roles again. I already said it in our introduction that we want to find out where all these issues are coming on. So we are going to be dealing with Genesis 1 verses 6, 7, and 8, which actually, is focusing on this gender issues that we're talking about and the violence. And we want to look at it according to the principalities of Ma'at in African spirituality. Was that done by our ancestors? How did we get here? When we're talking about gender and violence, is it only the women? Why do the political systems target the women and the children as the weaker sex? What about the men and the burden that they're shouldering, which actually could or has caused a lot of this traumatic imbalance in families, and nobody is talking about the male child and his own difficulties, which at the end would be pushed to the female in any case. So yes, today we want to get into that, to digest that. And you just had some very three critical words that King Maponga was dashing out here, and he talked about aggression, affection, and erection. For those of you that is just joining, I think you would have to rewatch this conversation to be able to get to that text because it's deep. It is so deep. And I think you're good right now, as I can see. That should be fine. That position is good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. Wonderful. I love the family images and the paintings in the background. That's the family.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
think yes, you already just talked about the three positioning, and I see my screen is acting up. So I'll just put you on the screen um, while I fix my own background as well. No. Are you hearing me? Seems as you're freezing. You are still freezing. All these malicious trolls or whatever. It's impossible. Only happens when we're here. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness, he's freezing. It's freezing. This is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Anyway, give him some time. We're going to adjust to that. I want to welcome you, Robert Modenda, who is watching, Soto Warrior, Cheryl Pennis, Novia, and all of the family members that are joining in. I know some of you are running late, but it's okay. We haven't even started to read the chapters because we were waiting for all of you to sign in before we take up. Maddie, thank you for being here. Enes, you already were here. Thank you so much. Very, very punctual. Ebony, thank you. I'm so time, Ebony Mukanhari. You know, something's just acting our screens, our backgrounds, our messages, our volumes. JJ, hi bro, I see you. All right, I think the Maponga should be back. Relationship without a virgin impunity. I see Madini. Italisi, thank you for being here. All right, if you just would rotate your camera again. Munyonki, the third, Marara. Rotate your camera. This is so sad. I don't know who has the intention to mess up this conversation for today, but I can guarantee you, you're just lying. You cannot. You're untouchable. You didn't do it 400, 500 years. You cannot do it now. Can you
Is
hear
that
me
fine?
now? Yes,
Yes,
you're
I can
fine,
hear
but you
you.
just froze. Yes, yes, yes. Stay there. Stay on that position.
Are we okay?
We're okay. We're missing your face because you're under the logo, but the voice and everything is clear. We get you. We get you. All right. I think let me just go and read the chapters. And to your right, that will be much better. Go to your right. Perfect. Beautiful. Excellent. Don't move.
Okay.
Don't move. All right.
Sasa,
So fine.
let me get a
Very
book.
fine.
Let me get a book just to hold it's sliding. Let me just get a book to support it.
It is okay. Whew. All right, dear people, as you can see, that's us. We do it the African way. That's our thing. In the village culture, in the African spirituality culture, we don't rush, we don't hurry. We just take our time, we put everything in order. And when we're done, we just move. Okay. So don't worry, you know it already. You know the tradition, you know the culture in this house. You know how we do our things. We're not rushing, we're not competing with anybody, we're competing with ourselves. All right. So just stay here. We're gonna chew this mission for today, and all of us will go back home happily and elevated. Yes. Again, you're fine now. You're very fine. So what were you saying? Let me just give you back the audio. Can you remember what you were saying?
I think we're saying we needed a ministry that supports the men so that we can produce a better breed of men. Because if we develop the women in this generation, by the time those women want to get married, the men will be so much left behind that you again have to start another process of building up the boy child because you'll have left them behind. So we are looking at 60 years of wasting experiments. The mistakes of the past, we recognize them. But going forward, we need to bring up the girl child, we need to bring up the boy child, and allow the two children to grow up equally loved, equally cared for, so that they can start new homes. But right now, if we bring up again an imbalanced Western hegemony of let's top up the girl child. So you end up with girl child, master's, doctorate, and etc. And the boy child again now is remaining with grade 5, grade 6, and uneducated at the bottom. You're creating another problem by solving another problem. Children must just be brought up in a balanced environment. Male and female need both to get equal opportunities. And I think that's what we're talking about. It's availing equal opportunities. Yes, there are communities that don't give girl child opportunities because they say you're going to get married, you cannot invest in you. But brains are not gender-based. Brains are brains. The girl child has enough brains just like the boy child. And your boy child, if you are smart enough, would you want your children to be brought up by a stupid woman? Or you want an intelligent woman to bring up your children? So remember, when you are oppressing the girl child, you are also producing poor mothers for your own children, for your own grandchildren. Because if you don't send your girl child to school, and I don't send my girl child to school, we send all the boy child to school. When our boy child wants to get married, who do they marry? Mine did not go to school. Yours did not go to school. What quality of mothers are we going to produce? So I'm advocating that right on the onset of correcting the mistakes of the past, let us not fall in the trap of pulling too far left to fixing the problems, and we start creating another problem again on the right way we are moving away from. I thank you.
Thank you so very much. I'd like to recognize Lesotho Philemon, Changua Firi Vantila. You said say hi to me. We say hi to you out there. And all of you that are joining. Olen Vaxi, you say this sounds to be a very great and interesting topic. Of course it is. It is, because that's one of the biggest challenges that we have in our communities and in our culture. And so let me just go and read the chapters, and so that we can break it down to that. So Genesis, according to the gospel, according to Yashua Maponga, Genesis 1, verse 6, 7, and 8. Verse 6 says, humanity must respect women as they were the first gods we know until they introduce us to the fathers and other gods. So you're saying humanity must respect this position of a woman because that's what we know as our first God. When we are born, we cry to see the first gods that we are before the universe introduced us to the Father and to other gods. And so why would a woman, that's a challenge, that's a question that you're throwing out there for us. Why would a woman breastfeed her husband and give her child plastic milk? Send him back to his mother if he wants to breastfeed, to be breastfed, right? So verse 7 is saying the root is the mother and the ancestor.
Maybe let's chew that one a little bit.
Yes,
let's
please.
chew that one a little bit, because in modern times, the woman anatomy is now no longer as functional as it is as cosmetic. Thumbs up and lots of respect to all the mothers that breastfeed their children, but a big shame to mothers who would rather breastfeed their husbands and then give their children plastic milk. And I'm saying that not with any pun intended, like as clear as I'm saying it. Because many women think that when you breastfeed, your breast will flop, they will drop, they will what, so to maintain the look of the breast, you'd rather starve this little child and so that you can keep your breasts for your husband. But you undermine the whole process of breastfeeding. It's not just about giving the most nutritious milk. I mean, cattle feed their babies, their calves, and all animals feed their little ones. It's only human beings who want to feed on cow milk, goat milk, and the mothers don't want to breastfeed their own children. There is not only for food. Breastfeeding is also for bonding. Breastfeeding is for education. Breastfeeding is for connection. Breastfeeding is a moment that mother and child, male or female, that energy where a mother can sense that my baby is now hungry and the baby can't talk. And even in old age, the mother can still sense her gut when something wrong is with her child. There is that deep connection that we can't miss it, like the tree, the roots. You know, when the child is holding the breast, it's like the whole universe is in conversation, pushing, sharing life with this little young one. And in the hands of a loving mother, those are sacred moments. And I want to throw another curveball that if it becomes sexually offensive for children to breastfeed in public, then it must also be offensive for men and female to eat in public, because it is an opportunity for a child to eat. And if we are saying when children are eating, it is offensive. I know in the West, a mother can't be seen breastfeeding in public because breasts are no longer feeding. Breasts are sexual organs. But if it is evil for children to breastfeed in public, then it must be evil for men to eat in restaurants, because you're eating also. So can we say the eating of the adults is superior to the eating of the children? Unless our minds have now been twisted by colonial education, which in the olden days, the breast of women were never sexual organs. They were just feeding stations for the children. And that's what they were. And until of late, where women must now cover their breasts and etc., there's some tribes right now in Africa where the covering of breast is not an issue. I mean, Eswatini, in the Himba people, in the Maasai people, and some other tribes, it's not an issue. Breasts are not an issue to the African, unless we've gone to school now and we've been taught that they are representing other things, and we've seen pictures, and our minds have been polluted by colonial education. And now we can no longer look at women in the same sense we used to look at our mothers breastfeeding our brothers and sisters when we were young. So yes, it's important for us to breastfeed. And if your husband wants to breastfeed, yes, send him back to your mother. And over and above that, I beg to be corrected. It should be understood that maybe women who breastfeed, they also reduce their chances for breast cancer. Now they tell you not to breastfeed your child because your breast will get messed up. Then they come around and write articles, hey, women, you must have men to breastfeed on your breast because it reduces cancer. But why do you want men to reduce cancer when children can actually reduce cancer by simply breastfeeding when you give birth to your children? How much more complicated can that be? You know, you tell me not to breastfeed, then I stop breastfeeding, then you tell me you will have cancer. You know, get your men to breastfeed your and this for me, it's equal confusion of the highest order. That solutions stare us in the eyes. There are people who really need the breast for life, for milk, for connection, for maternal love, for affection, and you deprive them all that for cosmetics. Now women are sick on this side. You write another journal from Science Lab that says, no, please get those breasts, get someone to breastfeed on them because you'll get cancer. This is chaos of the highest order.
So very true. So sad.
I thank you.
I think it's all about money making in such a I don't know, and I don't know, in such a devilish manner, in such a crooked, thievery manner, in such a genocidal form. I mean, I don't know how we can condemn this act, because I don't breastfeed, and then you give me an option to buy breast milk, to buy plastic milk, and that one is even you promote it to be healthy. So it's just a marketing. We just do know. I did a lecture on another channel about polygamy, and the it even came into existence was a womanhood a culture. And why would the woman look for her assistance? Because our great grandmothers used to breastfeed their children for 5 years. And that time of breastfeeding was that creation of that life. And in that purpose, they would look for their co-wives, co-sisters, co-friends to take care of their husbands because they were breastfeeding. Do you think they were stupid? Do you think they were idiots? Do you think they were just crazy? But that's a topic for another day. because this is how it came into the essence of breastfeeding. And we look for options for our kings, our husband was our cult. Never was polygamy an issue of the men that we see today. But like I said, that's going to be a topic on another one. We can do those lectures.
Let me add something also there. I come from a generation not only of breastfeeding, we also come from a generation of cross breastfeeding. Now, I had 4 of my cousins who were all born at the same time, not same date, but were born at the same time. Now, it used to happen, myself, my 2 cousins, and my uncle were all same age in the same homestead. And it used to be that the one who remains with the children, when other women have gone to the market and to the river and etc., the one who remains with the children would breastfeed all of us. So I breastfed from my mother's breast. I also breastfed from my aunt's breast. I also breastfed from my other aunt and the other aunt. Only now when I am grown up, I hear actually one way of immunizing your children. It is cross breastfeeding. So you have a sister, there is nothing wrong with you sharing breasts with your children. It helps the immune of the children. Go and do a further research on that. I looked at it and I was shocked to discover that our parents practiced this, and I was attached to my aunt as I was attached to the other aunt, because we shared even the bonding itself due to this cross breastfeeding thing, only to discover it's a better way of immunizing children is by cross breastfeeding. I thank you.
Thank you so very much. I know it. In the village where I grew from, all the orphans that their mothers died bringing them to birth were all breastfed by all the other women. It was even a culture in the village that the young women, when the elder women or those that had this same age children would go to the farm, they would breastfeed each other. I grew up seeing it. This is not a rocket science. This is not a book of the past. This is a written book that is still alive today. I mean, like, I'm the book. I'm the product of it. I was breastfed by other mothers, and I babysitted children that was breastfed by other mothers, and nothing ever happened. So I think this is really going back to our principles of Ma'at, going back to the African spirituality of earth, of the things that we do today that become I can't do that. Even women that are so ignorant about ourselves. And that's what the ministry of women should be doing, as a matter of fact, bringing us back into those principles of our great-grandmothers, where they had to put to bed, where there was even no hospitals in their houses. But today we are the women ministries that are even promoting even our girls trafficking and stuff like that, or sending children, young babies, into marriage at a tender age, or forcing them into stuff that are not necessary. So this has to stop, and that's why we need to learn. We have a lot to remind ourselves of the past. Should I just go and read these chapters and we dive into it? Thank you so much. So wonderful. So as we talked about the breast, like you said, why should we, give it to our kings and prohibit our children? So that's an insult. That's an abuse to the child. And in the new Al-Kebulan, my king, the children who grow up to know this are able to sue or bring us to the palace for questioning, because that's an abuse. That's what should be an abuse. An abuse should look like. Verse 7, you say, Munzimai in Shona, or Muzirut, or my mother. The root is the mother, and the ancestor, Mudzimo, is your mother. To insult a woman is to pile coals of fire on your head. Your ancestors traveled through women to manifest. Verse 8 says, it is an abomination for a son to sleep with his mother, and profanity to insult one with her mother part. For cursing the gate is disrespectful of the gift they bring. It is it is like a fool shouting insult into the city. Women are sacred, and let all men must live to know and honor women. That's the 7 and 8. Probably we just hang in here and do on this. And hey, please, before the king comes up, I want to give you a shout out on behalf of my mother. My mother actually called me every day, and each time he says, say greetings to your global family and my great great grandchildren out there. And she says it all the time I speak to her. And today she just posted a picture and said, post me and tell them I love them. So today I'm really bringing that love and that regards. If you go to my Facebook page, and she danced a video and shared with us. So I'm sharing it officially for you that my mother sends greetings to all of you. So it's a mother and a woman thing. Yeah. And she's called Susan the First. I'm Susan the Second. Any.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
Right. So
That's nice.
over to us. Yes.
Let's pick up on the Mudzi. In Shona, Mudzi is a root. Mai is a mother. So in my culture, woman is called Mudzi. Mai, meaning the root is the female. Then Mudzimu, which is the word for ancestors, takes also the same prefix, Mudzi, Umu, Mudzi, Umu, meaning in the roots, that's where you find your ancestry. Meaning it's only your mother who can tell you who your father is. It's only your mother who knows who you are. Then we even have a proverb that says the only truth you will find is the truth from your mother. The rest are lies. You know, your mother is the only truth that we can talk about. If someone says this is true, it's only truth is when your mother tells you, you are my child. That is true. Whether this is your father or not, that's a conversation for another day. But if she confirms that I birthed you, there is no other truth that is beyond that truth. So Mudzi means the roots from where you come from. Mudzi, the root is the mother. Is get established, connect with your mother, and you will connect. She will lead you to your ancestors, if that makes sense to you. Connect with your mother, and she will connect you with your ancestors. For she's the only one who knows who she has connected with to make you come forth. Then it comes again to this R&B, hip hop music, all this beautiful modern music that makes millions from swearing mothers. Mother this, F that, mother, F and this, F and this, F and this. And if you call someone a mother F, who slept with your mother, you're swearing at your own father. I wonder if that makes sense. I want that to sink. When you say you are a mother F, who is a mother F? Who slept with your mother? So we have music that is built on swearing and cursing fathers. Music built on cursing mothers. Music built on cursing and commercializing women's physiology and anatomy. Music that dwells on undressing women, pouring champagnes on them, reducing them to toys and objects of pleasure. Music that reduces the quality of African alkebulan pride into sex toys. Not only that, we also have marketing managers in the business space. Even when they are selling tires or they are selling spanners, they will put a naked woman as part of the advertising. Then you find naked women advertising tires of cars. And you wonder, where does the tire of the car fit into a picture of a naked woman? It's almost like, buy this naked woman and you have tires at the bottom. And unfortunately, in some of these adverts, women marketing managers are involved in further dehumanizing fellow women. We say in our Keblan, that is not right. That is not right. These are sacred vehicles of life. These are sacred utensils of nature. These are our canals through which we have become human beings. You are not normal. if you curse me and you curse my mother and you curse the door through which I was born, what are you saying? Did you fall from the heavens? By not respecting my mother, don't you understand that you're also disrespecting your own mother? So on this particular chapter, we want to do some language cleansing. It is not right for us to build a language of profanity around women. It is not right. We cannot do that. It is an alkebla like. It is an African. It is an Ubuntu like to curse and swear by calling private parts of someone's mother. And by the way, that is the fastest way of getting any African male child beat you up, even if they have no muscles. Just curse my mother and mention her private parts. Before you finish talking, even the weakest amongst us will get up to war and start fighting. Because there is that connection between every male child, every female child with their mothers. And when you throw insults into that mist and seeking to make me look at my mother with less eyes of respect, I mean, I cannot mention it to my own mother. I can't call that part about my own mother. But when someone does that, you are saying, what are you saying? What ideas are you putting in my mind when I look at my mother next time? It's the most dehumanizing thing. Hence, we say it is not right that a boy should sleep with their own mother. It is taboo of the highest order. It is not proper. You cannot go into the gates in which you were born. It is totally unacceptable. We need as such to respect our mothers, give them the highest respect we can. Daughters-in-law, respect your mothers-in-laws because they birthed you, your husbands. And I don't have to choose between my wife and my mother because number one, I can't sleep with my mother. And number two, my wife can't give birth to me. Those two relationships are as parallel, as important, as different. And any woman who has tried it on her husband to say, love me more than you love your mother, you know the results of what has happened. I've lived with my mother for 52 years. I meet you on the streets for 3 weeks, and you tell me that I must throw away a woman who brought me up for 52 years and love you whom I have met for 2 weeks. You must be smoking some serious drugs, and you must wake up from your sleep. It will not happen in a very long time. And any man who has chosen his woman above his mother has lived to regret. And any woman who has made a husband throw away their mother, they've lived to regret. I want my mother. She occupies a space that my wife can't occupy. I want my wife. She occupies a space that my mother can't occupy. Those two relationships sandwich every man and give every man the strength that they need. A simple tip for all married men and women out there, particularly to the women: love the mother of your husband. You will have handled 10 times the problems. And when there are issues and you know that you have your mother-in-law as your confidant, remember, his mother can talk to him in a better language which you can't talk to him. Just remember that. Keep it in the back of your mind. What things you cannot say to him, if you can communicate that to his mother, and his mother speaks to him, she speaks to him as a mother. You speak to him as a wife. Therefore, mothers hold a position that wives can't hold, and wives hold a position that mothers can't hold. Don't make me choose. I want both of you in my life. I thank you.
So very true, accurate, and on the point. And I think issues of mothers, daughters, daughters-in-laws, girls, and stuff like that they're the same vibration in just different format, and everyone has a key role, and all the roles are very important. I also will not be an abusive mother-in-law to my daughter-in-law because I need to respect my daughter-in-law because she takes care of my son. And if I really truly bring up my son well, I will not even have a problem with my daughter-in-law. So all these gender things, women things in that ministry of women, I think it's just like the whole community has been just torn apart because of this influence of this mixing up. The way we raised our children in the village, the children was the children, the families were the families. When even issues will happen in the homes, both families will come together. The essence of marriage was actually going to build the generation of the families in which we all belong. But now we see all this Christianity and all these religious and all these European systems, which came up to start bridging all these things. And that's why we even get the divide and rule system between women, between daughters, between families, between men, between our all thing is just mixed up. We're trying to sort out now Al-Kebulan.
I also want to mention something, another dynamic before we forget it. It is also women on women violence.
Sure.
Women on women violence. So I hope while we're discussing gender-based violence, it does not just end up as male and female violence. We also have female on female violence. If you
Correct.
go through your social media space right now, and a sister finds another sister involved with their husband or whatever happens in there, the amount of hatred, embarrassment, stripping each other, ripping each other naked, beating each other up, smashing each other to wall, burning wigs, and etc. I've seen quite some horrible stuff that women do to each other in the events that, and also men-to-men violence. When a man finds another man in a compromising position, the way in which men react and behave to other men. So this whole concept of violence in the society seems to be taking precedence and destroying the fiber, core fiber of our survival as our Keblam nation. Without saying much, I studied something about the Kenyan or the Maasai nation, that when a husband leaves home for more than a month, he goes away, the brothers of the wife, they will come and check on the wife to see she's still fine. Then a man comes to the house and puts his spear at the door, and he goes into the house to look after his brother's wife. And when the husband comes back and he finds a spear at the door, it means that there's another man inside. Please walk away. I'm not saying let's do that, but learn something from these communities that no longer consider violence to women as an issue. And I'm not saying practice it, but learn from them. Let's learn something right there. We don't need to be bashing each other, destroying each other, killing each other, burning each other, being violent towards each other. We need to find other methods of bringing our communities into harmony.
Thank you so very much, my king. I think this is very essential in every level. Al-Kebulan is just as confused as it's in a bubble, politically, economically, socially. I mean, everything is just in a bubble. And like we're talking even about our music, our terminology, a lot has been tampered with. And that's why when we gathered here to begin to select those things to say, which healthy lifestyle, which healthy a situation are we taking? And if we're focusing honestly on this week and we are talking about the girl child or the mother or the woman, it doesn't exclude, like King Maponga is saying, violence, women on women, men on men, men on women, and stuff like that. So the question is, who, exactly like what you said last week, who is doing that? Who wants me to learn his system? Who wants me to look like? Who wants me to learn something? Who comes into me and say, this is not right, this is right? Who is teaching us violence? Who is teaching us sex marketing? Who is teaching us? Who is behind? Who? Now, I could be the one propagating this, but where happened? What happened? Who is behind the whole of this confusion? And why must we go back to the way our ancestors, knowing ourselves, knowing our culture, knowing our spirituality. Why is it very essential for us to understand these roles?
The question, thank you very much for that comment. The question of who is teaching us is a deep question. It's rather a rhetoric question, but a deep searching question as to which culture have we now taken to be superior to our culture? What are the centers of education which we are now sitting in to learn this new narrative of life? What sort of churches and religions are we sitting under? And what sort of information are they giving us in those spaces? So the societal norms are being altered by the political structures which we are living, which then informs our education, and politics then informs our cultural behavior, it informs our jurisdiction, it informs the 7 pillars right through, and it even informs our entertainment. So here we are, all we are watching is violence on TVs, people beating each other up, people shooting each other, people cursing and swearing and etc. And at the end of the day, we wonder why we behave the way we behave. Really, can we ask who is teaching us these things when we spend 5, 6, 7 hours over a weekend watching toxic movies, reading toxic books, watching toxic messages, watching bad suggestions, and then we wonder how we behave the way we behave. In all honesty, the contamination of our environment is beginning to take its toll on our behavior, and the things that we are watching and the information that we are collecting is reducing us from being Bantu to being easy, from being Bantu to becoming things. Because umuntu, a human being, ngumuntu, you become human, ngabantu, because of other human beings. But when you don't have ubuntu, you are into. When you don't have the essence of Ubuntu, you become a thing. Therefore, what defines humanity in Africa, Ntu, is this nature of love and care and acknowledgement and respect for adults and social structures. If we could go back and learn from there, we may correct some of the misfortunes that we are seeing on the decay of our own cultures. I thank you.
Thank you so very much. You're saying something very important. An anxious man is saying, I find it so hard to watch TV these days. And now we're talking about, this is a platform that we can get healed, that we can actually go back every day and like, yes, I learned something. I'm just myself. I'm empowered. I'm enriched in every way. And we struggle, all of us, to build this platform. And that's why I really want to thank you, King, for saying, what is it that you listen to? What is it that you watch? As children of Akebulan, as children, that the first children of what is it that we spend time? Which books do I read? What channels do I watch? And that's why we put all our energy and our time here. Every day we are live on the Pan-African Daily, except we are busy doing something else in the background. King Maponga, Professor James Small, Dr. Susan Tatah, all our guests and the global family here. Cheryl is here every day. Sinovia is here every day. Ernest Parker is here. Walter Surrey, all of them, as you can see. Leo Wright, we are here every day. It doesn't mean we don't have any other thing to do. Why do we put these sessions here every day? Because we are giving ourselves the opportunity to have a media to watch us tell our own story and our perspective. My King, when you are not on the Pan-African Daily, you are on Farmers of Thought. When you are not on Farmers of Thought, you are from country to country, in the village, carrying this missionary work. And I see some sick people, because we're already so sick now. Even there to go to your page and comment negatively, and even to do some kind of, I don't know, sick stuff. You know, I saw some videos and I thought it was a joke. Some, I don't know. For me, that's sickness. People go around burning a book that Maponga wrote sometimes, youth, and say, oh, now we're burning because he's talking against the Bible. I mean, that's so how sick we are. But I have just one message that I'm so, when I look at that, when I look at it, my heart wept. My heart wept. Like your Bible says Jesus wept, because we all die because of the ignorance that we are into it. We're so contaminated in this ignorance. Even when our own is waking us up, we prefer to even put him on the ground before even listening to it. But you see, that's the situation that Akebulan is in. But Akebulan is getting up now to get prophets, children of the sun, children of the Ntu. Their prophets are here calling you to order. We don't care how long it's going to take you to wake up. We are here on this mission and we are unstoppable. As you just see, we were chosen. We don't even have a choice being here and giving you this message, being a download, you know, from the past into the present and into the future. We don't have a choice. We are called to do it. We must do it. And those that are chosen are the privileged sons and daughters and queens and kings of the Alkebulan, and we respect you. We respect you. So continue to watch and follow these platforms. Your life will never be the same again. The power that you are seeking for, you can only get it on this conscious community, on the people that love you and look like you and could die for you and are here for you. And as a matter of fact, there's even no dying, because we say we'll fight until we leave to be in the space that we are. So my king, I'm just saying, we see all, even the battles that you are trading on. But we are saying that we know that you are the chosen from your ancestors, from the Most High, and they already watch over you, and nothing. And I say again, and I decree and I declare and I confirm and I process, nothing is changing this. So you better join in. If you cannot beat, join in and just begin to tap where your energy and your power is, and just leave this foolishness to where it belongs. You did not create this problem that you find yourself in, children of Alkebulan. Don't be a solution to this problem. You did not create it. So we're taking you back to righteousness, to the land, to the power of your great creators. And none of us is going to let you fall. It doesn't matter how you're going to raise up to fight us. We would fight to win you. And I think that's the aggression that you talked about, King Maponga. We are aggressive to love our own. That's also the aggression. And when he said we should be aggressive against our enemies, I understood it is like we are fighting to get our lost people back. That is the biggest aggression that no one can stop from you, the children of Ntu.
Wow, I hear you. I hear the aggression. I hear the aggression right there, and we are safe. Challenges will always be there, and as one of the writers once wrote, the biggest problem of fighting for the darker race is that while you are fighting the enemy, you also must be fighting your own brothers. And it's almost like we have enemies amongst ourselves to our own liberation. It will have been funny if they would spend the same energy to fight the enemies who taught them the lies. No, they don't want to face those ones who have misinformed them. They don't want to fight those that have misled them. They don't want to raise their voices against those that have lied to them. They don't even want to raise their voices against those that are robbing them day and night of their hard-earned cash. Leave us alone. It's our money. It's none of your business. And then they'll turn their anger. Instead of facing the enemy in their eyes, they would make the messenger an enemy, you know. And I am here, and I'll say something quite painful. very painful, that don't fight the messenger. Don't fight the messenger. The messenger is given a letter for you to read. Hear me very well, Dr.
Yes.
Susan. And the letter that the watcher is bringing to you, the letter that the watcher is bringing to you is not written by the watcher. The messenger is carrying a letter from your father to you. You and the one who wrote the letter, you know each other. I am just a channel who reminds you of what you already know. If you don't understand what I have written, don't ask me. Ask the one who wrote it for you. In other words, this is for me an awakening, a consciousness. But don't look at me as if I'm this person that has all the answers. I have just been given this letter, and I'll come and deliver it on your doorstep. Don't go about asking me, so what did you write in this letter? It's not mine. You know what the contents of this letter, you know the person who wrote this letter, and if you are tuned to your past, you will read this message and it will remind you of who you are, for it is coming from who you are. I thank you.
Thank you so very much. Truth be told, we are on the Pan-African Daily TV and talking on our issues. I mean, quarreling, arguing, understanding, respecting each other, but it is us. These are our internal affairs. And we don't want nobody to mingle or mess it with us. Even if we do our own mistakes, we're going to correct it ourselves. I do agree perfectly that, you know, like you said in the chapter, you know, we have to respect our children, because the fact that we respect our children gives that autonomy for our children to know that they have parents that could back them up and that could stand up at every circumstances. But these children can still also be their old children. The children doesn't mean babies in that context. So like you said at the last session, we are starting every day, and even today we started. So if we started, it means we are children. We were children. So all of us are being born into the space of knowledge every day. If you were not yesterday, and I think that's what the church is calling born again. Being born again is you renew every step of the level of your consciousness. And so we say here in the Alkebulan Church that we are reborning into the spirit of our ancestors and the Most High, the way He made us to be. The way He made us to be. So if you abuse or violent in any way, please, it is okay that you did it yesterday, you did not know. It is very okay that you made mistakes yesterday, be it in your family, be it even hating your own self. There's also violence against us. Just take at the men who bleach or the women who bleach themselves. That's too much violence against your own self. So there's a lot of violence that we make on our own. But politics don't talk that. If politics doesn't address violence against yourself, like why do I have to bleach my black dark melanin that is protecting me? So why do we not see this? They even promote those lotions that go to kill our people, and you see it on billboards on our street. And they put these creams on the, you know, and it never, I mean, I cannot, and the worst thing is these creams, these body creams are coming from the non-melanated people, non-African people who have lost their melanin, and now they want to chop off the melanin of the Alkebulan, whom they know is the DNA and the power, and they will bring these toxics, and we begin to put on our skin. Is that not violence enough, my king? Is that not an abuse enough?
Think you are raising a very important element, and that for me boils down on what we want to call self-love, self-preservation. You know, you use a very interesting word there when you say is violence against self. Violence against self. I think we'll find it on one of the chapters where I put the 3 laws that govern the Alkebulan. Law number 1, law of self-preservation. Law number 2, law of family establishment and family preservation, and law number 3, law of community preservation, land acquisition, etc. It's quite an interesting chapter. I think when you get there, we will further on understand that crimes against self must also become criminal offenses. If we catch you trying to kill yourself, you must be arrested. You are a criminal. You are a criminal that was going to be killing themselves and depriving us of an opportunity of having your services. So if there is violence, or there is violence on self, and imagine by the time someone reaches that level of self-hate, self-dissatisfaction, downplay, lack of pride in self, not without saying much. Can you imagine if you don't feel good about yourself? Would you feel good about other people? Would you feel equally respectable to other people? I mean, if you don't feel you're beautiful, would you think other people are beautiful? Why are you competing with anybody? And why would you want to look like me? So at the end of the day, this self-love, which becomes self-destruction, it only shows that there is a deficiency of pride, of identity, and sometimes even basic knowledge. Those people that are bleaching themselves actually know that the more the melanin, the safer your skin is. Do they even know that? Or they've been made to think that the yellow you are, the more, and again, media comes into space. What kind of images do we consider is beautiful? When children are born and they're born dark in complexion, oh, so that's an ugly child. When someone is light in complexion, hey, he gave birth to a white woman. She gave birth to a white girl, a white child, And then as if when you are lighter, you are better. When you are darker, you're worse. So we also, as elders in the community, need to start changing our conversations. We need to start saying when they are born and they are very dark like me, and saying, wow, melanin has come back in full strength. The sun will not hurt you. And begin to regain, because some of these children who grow up being told that they're ugly because of complexion, these traumas, they live with them until they can afford to buy the chemicals to fix those things. So you'll find a 50-year-old woman who is still struggling with the negative comments she received when she was 7, 8 years old. Now that she has the money at 52, 55, she wants to fix that. So you're still dealing with a toddler. You're still dealing with a teenage girl. But now a grown-up woman, but trapped in the abuse of a teenager. And because someone told them that this is ugly, even 30, 40 years later, they want to fix that which they were. This is how deep negative comments can settle in our minds and destroy our future. I thank you.
We are getting into the middle of this conversation, which is if we want to begin to allocate all this gender against women, it's a sick situation. It's a mental thing. For you to raise up your hand and beat the one that you sleep with, whether man or woman, it is just as hurting as. But that's the tool, that's the symptom. But the root cause is deeply rooted in one you're talking in things that we miss, the trauma of the past, all what the colonizers brought to us, and we start beating the corruption, the poverty, the everything, all these deep stuffs that we're going through, settle down at one point in our psyche. And when we want to throw it, we don't know who to throw it. The next person becomes your victim. Is it right?
Another window also I would like us to focus on the issue of physical abuse is also on the 16 days of gender-based violence. I want us to look at violent language, which becomes the breeding ground of physical abuse. Without condoning any abuse in any way, you will be shocked that in some of those cases where physical violence has been reported, it goes with an encyclopedia of verbal abuse, which precedes. And often this verbal abuse escalates itself until it becomes physical in some certain cases. In that regard, I think women are more violent when it comes to words than men are, because sometimes the quality of our conversations, the quality of speech, the words that we use on each other, are these words that build? Are these words of love? Or they are words that degrade the other person? You are good for nothing. You what? Your manhood can't even what? Your this can't that. You what? And you choke this man. By the time it erupts in the police station, he lifted up his hands. No one wants to talk. What happened prior to all this happening? And I would want to say to all the women out there, sometimes learn from me. I have some few scars. Learn from me. There are two types of women. There's a woman who talks a lot and she gets nothing done by her husband. There's another woman who says nothing and she looks at her husband and she gets everything done. The question is, who is more powerful? You want to be strong on words, or you want to be strong to be respected and things can be done for you? Having said less, unfortunately, people think that in the abundance of words, shouting, then you get things done. But only when you start, you cannot shout at the person and love the same person. In the same way, you start building those gaps between yourselves and your partner, because language becomes the science of running a relationship. So I think strength is built by those who say less and can say, please, honey, can I get this thing done? And this woman can sit back and the husband can work. Imagine, Dr. Susan, the way men are built. And I say this on behalf of all the men in the world. All the men want to work for women. There is not one single man who does not want to work for a woman. Whether it's woman, whether it's mother, whether it's chick or side chick, whether it's what, but a man is a laborer working for a woman. The question is, as a woman, how do you move into that space to make sure that he becomes a faithful servant to your needs and to your demands? A man wakes up every morning because he wants his woman, he wants his family, he wants his children to be in a better space. That's what drives men. We go to work, some of us, we come back home, we put all our salaries on the bed. This is what I work for. And then 2 days later, I'm asking for money for petrol. May I please have some money for airtime, and etc. Because there's some pride when you know that you've done your best and you've placed it there. So for me, again, it is working yourself into that space where you become the glove, the strong hand that supports your men to stand. And those of you who read the Bible, it says somewhere, men were molded out of dust. And in the same passage, then it says, women were created and made out of the bone. So you can think who is stronger, the dust or the bone. So in all honesty, women are stronger than men. That's why women are able to pick up that bone and dig up a man's ego and dig him up and finish him up until there's nothing left. Because men by nature, we are softer than women. I know it doesn't sound regular, but men are made out of soil. Women are made out of bones. I thank you.
Thank you so very much. I mean, this is profound. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. When I say I'm a woman, I know only one thing, that I can speak on the behalf of all women in the world as well. I really can still also speak as a mother, so means that I also know a son. just like you've spoken on the behalf of all the men, I speak on behalf of all the women of the world, our mothers, our grandmothers, our daughters, our daughters-in-law, and even to our sons-in-law. One thing that a woman needs is just respect and recognition and a lot of compliment. And I still differ to see from my grandmother a woman that even wants a man to work for him, for her. I don't know any. From the bottom of my grandmother, they had their farms and they will go to the farm and work equally to feed the community. But what would make them even scream is when my granddad would come in and say, I love the taste of your food. You look beautiful today. Your hair, oh, I don't like this eye today. Or you see, oh, you're putting on shape and I see the bottom is growing and I like that. That is everything a woman, I can bet on all my life, from the generation of my mothers, my great-grandmothers, my mothers-in-law to all. A woman just needs recognition in that. A woman doesn't need money because they make their own money so much. We work at everything if we want to, but if we choose not to, like me, I don't do the things I think the man needs to do. That one I can never. I don't mingle in that space. If it is your thing, if it is what you as a man has to do, you have to do it. I don't take me that opportunity to take that space away. If you are to build a bridge, go and build a bridge. You would never see me building a bridge. But when you come home, the compound and the community would be good and fine to go. So, so I think, you see, we just went back into the knowledge of the Akebulan. I think that was the harmony and the balance and the reciprocity. And who does what, who knows what, who wants what, who needs what. Because the kind of men that you represent, they are our sons that we raise them. And we know who are the selfish ones. We know who are the ones that don't even give. We know the ones that maybe we made a mistake by raising them. They're so egoistic and full of themselves, particularly some of the ones that have tasted of the white man patriarchy, and they want to break down their women of every cost, even if she does everything. So we have work to do to fix ourselves, to heal ourselves, to repair ourselves. And if we just go ahead.
And while you're on that, doctor, I listened to one video, I think in the course of the week. It was quite I can't remember the name of the lady, but she raised quite some interesting, very interesting points. And I think maybe it's wise we can share some of that stuff.
Yes.
She was saying it's only the African Black women who want to be known as strong Black woman, strong, this, you never hear of a strong Chinese woman or hear of a strong white woman. But it looks like amongst the Blacks, there is this passion for becoming strong, independent, and only to end up in lonely spaces. Because what makes life beautiful, as you rightfully put it, is the harmony. It is the sharing. It is the living together. And let's not over masculine the ladies. Let's not over feminize the men. I think that's where mischief begins to happen, when men are told to tone down. Tone down, you don't understand the language of women, and then men really go down until men are like women themselves. The opposite of that is women are told, you're too soft, come on, toughen up, until the woman is as strong as a man. At the end of the day, you have these two toxic extremes where men are now competing for mirrors with women, eyeshadow for eyeshadow, lipstick for lipstick, hairstyle for hairstyle, perfume for perfume, tights for tights. And then you look around and say, what's going on here? And on the other end, also the girl child, things that tough up a little bit, put up your cap facing the other way, tomboy kind of thing. And then we begin to see this breeding ground of mischief that is taking place. And I think in our Kebelam space, we've never had unisex toilets. You know, men are men, women are women. Men sit there, women sit there. Children play between, and they're always told where to go. And so the issue of masculine and feminine has never been a black space. It is clear that we are men and women. And those of you who might want to get and drag this conversation towards same-sex marriages, I don't have energy for that kind of conversation, because there are far much more bigger issues that Africa is in conversation with. We need to start talking about how to create food and what and what. And this 0.00009% of people who now have their rights, and they want all other rights to be kicked out through the window, including the right of a community to be, must make way for this 0.0000925%. I don't think we can build a community based on those exceptions. We want also to enjoy ourselves as Africans the best way we know who we are. And we have never walked up into Europe and imposed our culture to them. And it must not be also that they should walk up us as our Kebelan now that we are woke, and they impose those kind of cultures on us. Chapter we are reading today, let's respect women. We all come from there. These are our gods who have birthed us. And as I always say, when men go to bed with a woman, you are entering into the space where divinity stays. You are in the corridors of the ancestors. Here is the engine house where the universe is in conversation to create another human being. Human beings are not created in heaven, in the skies out there. They are created in the heavens, which is the womb of the woman. That's where God stays, if you believe in God. That's where ancestors stay, if you believe in ancestors. That's where genes are molded into life, if you believe in science. But the womb of the woman is the divine spiritual space that converts water, material, into bone and marrow. Therefore, when you look at a woman, you are looking at the heavens. You are looking at God inside, not God outside. You are looking at God who dwells inside her to reproduce another nation, I think.
Thank you so much, my king. I think it all boils down to one thing. Our Kebulan is growing, and we're nurturing our children, our sons, our daughters, our kings. All some of this kind of terminology that you use. I think we have treated that topic here, the illusion of the black strong woman. You know, the fallacy of a strong, but these are all constructs that are not our own, not even in our languages. And now, because they sell it to the weaker, spirited, weaker ones, they buy it. And now, if your woman would develop in a state of a mind where you thought should not have been, you begin to say she's a strong woman, and that strong woman is a threat, becomes a threat. There is nothing that exists like a strong woman. We are not stones. We are not woods. We are not, even women that choose to say, you know, all these things are coming from this patriarchy, crazy systems who have to put this profession is for men, this profession is for women, this one is for this. And now when the women in some passion, when they're in this passion and they do some other thing that the men thought is challenging, it could have been my space, and they begin to, but this is not our culture. We are looking into the ancient Alkebulan culture. What was the community about? What was my role? Why was I the queen mother? Why is the princess, the king? Does it mean the king is because he's strong? Yes, okay, the king would go to battle to fight. But who goes to battle, to the battlefield? Because the mother has to sit and take care of the multitude, because we were multitasking in everything. But does it mean, just like you said in the beginning, the one sitting on the chair and the one that's sitting on the floor, anyone is, this is not African. This has never been us. These are just toxic systems that they bring into everything, just like the language of the strong woman. any woman that is the woman. These are constructions to make women feel so hard. It's the same thing like us talking here and say, let us respect our women. For me, I still really go to really just still disagree to say, let us respect ourselves. If I respect myself, automatically the respect comes on. The moment we always begin to say, let us respect our women, we always are diminishing the women, and as if women are begging to be respected, as if women are lobbying. No, if we just respect ourselves. My son told me something one day and said, Mother, I don't respect you because you are my mother. I respect you because you respect yourself. And that this idea of I have to respect your mother because you gave me birth. So if you were just the kind of toxic mother, must I respect you? And so it's a personality thing in development. So respect is for everyone. We respect ourselves. We respect our children. We respect our elders. The elders respect us. And I think that was the balance in our ancient culture. And to be honest with you, I can even say we, the women, were even more aggressive at the ancient culture. It is because the Europeans came in and they brought down every symbol and everything and brought down our crowns and then begin to put us against each other. You, the kings, just knew your position in ancient Africa, and you know what the role of the mother is in the community, like what you said. Nobody even had to teach us that. My king, were we taught that a mother is a mother and a father is a father, and that respect must be like this, or it just happened because it was a spiritual thing? I grew up in my compound in the village. I never saw that. I saw my mother was the one taking control and managing and even making some decisions, and my father would just agree with it. And so, where does this come from? Where is the root cause? Because some of the things that we inherit and begin to say is African culture never was an African culture. We lived in a culture of harmony. I can agree on that. And I just knew my position. I just knew my role. I just knew what respect is without somebody really going to teach me what respect is. But I was not
we can even punch a principle right there, that African spirituality as an African culture, it is matriarchy. It is matriarchy. It is mother-based. And the home belongs to the women. The whole Lobola concept is not based on men. It's based on women. The concept of children upbringing is based on women. The relationships of the community are all driven from the woman. And unfortunately, this patriarchy story that came with the Christian principles that we have come to take as our new culture. And I hear some of my educated friends who try to preach to me, telling me, no, Christianity has no culture. We only have one culture, and that is the culture of Jesus. And you listen to these beautiful words that are empty of practical application. What you're calling the Bible culture, what you're calling the culture of Jesus, just say it. It's white culture. You're simply saying you have now taken European culture as superior to your own culture. So what they now deem as, we are now in the Christian, we don't believe in any culture. We only believe in the culture of Jesus. If you follow that culture of Jesus, you find them, oh, sorry. So is this the culture of Jesus, that you get married like this? Is this the culture of Jesus, that you bury like this? So is this the culture of Jesus, that you eat like this? And you find that in the midst of that entire conversation, you're actually dealing with the colonized mind that thinks that white culture is Christian culture. But back in our spaces as Al-Keblan, we are not confused on the role, the pivotal role of the woman. And I would think let's conclude on the concept of lobola, just to add light to that conversation. Lobola means this one has rotten, or this one is rotten, or this one has died.
Again,
Lo,
lo bola.
bola
Lo bola.
is rotting. Now you go to the family and then you pay or you submit your lobola. Lobola, it is the dowry price. That's English. But in African culture, it is not a dowry price. It is a connecting of crowns. It's an insurance policy between families to protect investments so that where you are going, if both of you should die, these children can come back here and they can still be looked after by the in-laws because there's enough wealth to do that. But over and above that, in beautiful southern kingdoms here, when a child is now fully paid for in terms of lobola, then the family takes their child to the kraal. And when they get to the kraal, then they speak to their ancestors and they say the cattle have arrived. The cow dung of those cattle and our cow dung has now mixed together. We now therefore kill this child in this house. There will no longer be one of us. Their cattle have arrived. We are now going to remember again the process of the kraal. I wish another day I can actually do the theology of the kraal. And then you'll understand
We
why
will.
Jesus was born. Then you understand why Jesus was born in a kraal, in the manger, right there, and the center of the African wealth system. Because the child is born and they are brought to this kraal the day they're born. Few weeks later, after they've been shown the moon and everything else, after birth, and then finally, the final ceremony, the parents bring the child. And it is believed, you bring a little baby, you put them on the mat, and you walk away. If they belong to this family, some cultures still practice that. If they belong to this family, the cattle will not stumble over them. If they don't belong to this family, cattle will stumble over them and kill that baby. That culture is still being practiced in some certain spaces. So when they were born, they were introduced to the kraal. We have a baby that is in the house. The day they're going to be living again, we bring them back to the kraal and say, time has come for this baby to go and make children on the other end. Then we remove your name. You no longer have a surname. We cover you up with a cloth. New born baby. Take you to the family. Early hours of the morning, we knock on the door. Hello, the Tatahs. Hello, the Tatahs. We are here this morning. We have brought your thing. We don't even call you a human being. We've brought your thing. It has no name. It has nothing. It's a blank sheet. The family accepts the child, takes them to the kraal again, and they go and announce when they get to the kraal. The cows that left here to go the other side, they have come. They have now come. To date, in some certain cultures, that's why they call women inkomo, which means the treasure and the wealth of the family. And then to the family house, where they will now give a new name. Who is she? She's going to be called Masimbonga, let us be thankful, or the one who works hard, or the one who brings light to the family. She's taught the cultures of the family. Take note. She comes here through the kraal as a girl. She becomes a mother in this family. Then she stays longer. She becomes a grandmother in this family. By the time she's the grandmother, she is now the mediator of the family, for she now collects and carries the history of the entire family. In other words, she's our redeemer. She is one not of us, but has become one with us to birth all of us and get connected to all of us more than those that look like us. I wonder if that makes sense to you. She's from outside, but she has come inside and made us to be what we are. Those are grand matriarchs. They are not born here, but now they own this homestead. They own the history of this homestead. So therefore, every woman is in a process of transiting from one state into another. And as such, mothers remain. And therefore, in Zulu, they call women umfa zi, umfa ekwazi, the one who dies knowing where she will die. the one who decides to die in another man's house. Umfa ekwazi, umfa azi, umfa azi. We respect women for those decisions that they make to lose their shapes, to lose their body figures, to lose their breasts. We respect those stretch marks. We respect the wrinkles. We respect. That's a decision that women make for us, for all of us, to come into life. I think it takes confidence for that. You're not asking for respect. I think we owe you lots of respect for that. So be proud. In conclusion, be proud of your stretch marks. Look at them with great pride. And if you look at them very nicely, they look like a constellation that is in the sky. If you take a nice camera and take your stretch marks and then Google the universe, you'll be shocked as to how much of your stretch marks are actually linked up to the cosmos that is in the atmosphere out there. You're connected at a spiritual level. I just want to say, no, thank you to all the ladies out there who have, anyone who has carried a baby, anyone who has breastfed a child, anyone who has put a child on their back, and anyone who has had to carry the child on their laps. On behalf of me and all the men out there, we are saying hands off for the next 16 days. Lots of respect and lots of love to the women of the Alkebulan continent. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you just pray and we close? Because there's nothing to say again. And we just go drink water and mind our African business. Drink water.
Let there be love. Let there be love. Let there be peace on the continent. Let there be aggression towards the things that destroy us. Let there be affection towards the things that bring us together. May your husbands find you ever lovely. May you be proud of your curves. Be proud of your looks and your complexions. Be proud of your wealth. And may this beautiful land love you back. May you walk and stomp on this ground with great dignity. Let the sound of your feet echo with the ancestors of old. Let it be that every Alkebulan woman can experience the incubants of the womb and reproduce beyond measure. Let there be truth in your loins and let there be affection in your hands. And when these toddlers are growing up in your hands, can they be taught how to become human beings, how they can become citizens? And while they're breastfeeding on your hands, tell them, whisper to them the secrets of the universe. And with that sacred tasks that you have in your hands, may the beautiful Lord of the universe whisper to you words of wisdom as you are carrying out your tasks that no other person on the face of the earth can do but our mothers. Thank you, Mama. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe, Bayete, Bayete, Bayete. Woo! Thank you. On behalf of all the people of Akebulan, particularly the mothers and the women and the daughters and the girl child, we want to thank you so much for elevating us. You know, you were talking, I just feel like flying. And I read the chat, everyone is just, you know, as illuminated as you are. The king is here. You've spoken on the behalf of all your brothers, all your ancestors, all the kings and the prince out on the continent and in the diaspora. And I think today, as we're opening these 16 days of hands off for ourselves, we're going to treat every sector to get over and done with these topics. We have to learn to love ourselves, to just enjoy love. We should, as a matter of fact, make love every day. This is the love-making process. We don't have time for toxics, for words that don't actually make us glow, for words that make us surrender. We don't want to look on the privilege. We don't want to look like the last. We are the first and the last. So I thank you so much, my king. Greetings out there. And don't mind if I would actually stretch out my hand on you during the week before, because this topic of words, an abuse to ourselves through words in our agenda, I would like to treat it on Thursday with you before we go to the next session. I just like set it a date because this is very, very crucial. And that's where everything starts and ends with. So I really want to thank you so, so much. We enjoyed the service for today. And we say greetings to your entire family and good night to you out there. Thank you so much. Vayete. Wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you, Kojo. Thank you, all the beautiful people. I see technology is one of us now. You know, technology. Thank you so much. Vanessa, it's been long, Vanessa. Ayoka, I see you. You come in late, even during the church. Ayoka, my name, Efwa. You come in even late today. Wonderful. All right. Grace, Sister Grace, Sister Grace, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Kojo. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, The Real Situation. Piccolo son, son of the father, son of his ancestors. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's been a while. Your Wayne, Ra, I'll see some 99 here. Sad Ash 99. Let me just know where you're watching from. Today is a Sunday. We ended a very beautiful sermon, very beautiful service. You know, I see your conversation. Most of you were really aggressive as I am, particularly when we're talking about, you know, tampering with our melanin. And that should be one of the subject matters also on this gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, not for women in all sex, in all everything, but if we want to focus on the mother, we've just been blessed that we're the greatest, so we don't need to cry. Seeing Chai, thank you so much. Anxious Man, Tiant Wems, thank you so much. Hiya Haika, hiya Johnny Johnson, Maddie Bees, Nazi General, you were here. Queen Vename, Bentley, thank you, Queen Mother of the Sun, Goddess, the greatest, Ramza. Ramza is always here. Sherry, you were always here. Ramza, you are here. I just want to thank all of you. If you want me to give you a shout out, please type in the comment box where you're watching from, and I'm going to shout out to you. I know a lot of people were like, "Hi, did you see me?" Dr. Susan, I'm also here. Brother Ra Cohen, thank you so very much. I love your comments all the times. We pay attention to you. Brother Ernest Parker, all the main team in the house. All of you that are here, have you subscribed? Have you clicked the like button? Have you shared? Have you contributed? Benjamin, thank you for being here. Thank you so very much. Thank you, all of you. I'm just repeating the ones that came in the beginning. Kauto Anika, thank you so very much. Haya Haika. And our brother Tiant Wems, thank you. You said, will not miss the messages of Baba Maponga on Sunday. Please do not. Do not just miss them. And be aware, Sunday is just the gospel according. But Baba Maponga can show up at any time here. Baba James Small, they can show us unannounced, okay? Brother Brett Williams, thank you so very much from the islands. Our greetings to our people out there. Yeah, of course. This is real talk, particularly today. This is real talk. There's nothing, we don't have any business in this earth, on this planet, on this space, without talking about our own stories and elevating ourselves. We don't have no business here. And to just one and then in business. Let me know where you're working. If I missed out on your name, if I missed out to give you a shout out, please do not be shy to remind me. We still have about 5 minutes to go. So yes, I just want to bring, like out of the conversation, and we're just out doing some small talks. What did you eat? What did you cook today? Abayomi Ade Yomo. Thank you. If you're still here, Rayan KM, you were the first people that just actually joined here. And thank you so much. And you greeted the community, and the congregation of our people is here. Thank you for so many chats. Wow. Who? Do not forget to like. All of you must like the show. You know why? Just like it. I'll tell you later. Sister Grace T. Muza. Thank you, Sister Grace. We have a lot of Grace here. Grace. Cheryl Grace. Brahma, God of creation. You said the black man is Jesus and black is the first creation. I hear you. We hear you. We thank you for blessing us. Thank you for blessing us with your comments and your moderation here. And Kwame, thank you, brother, all the time, always there. I miss African child here. I miss African child here. It's been a couple of days. Is he doing fine? If you hear me out there, just type. Eliona SPG. Thank you. I mean, I think this is your first time here. If this is your first time, I want to remind you, do not forget to click the like button. Do not forget to subscribe. And do not just forget to click the subscription. Black Raven, thank you so much. You donated $10. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for blessing this sermon for today. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And I think we also had another donor who actually blessed us today or gave to the community today. Amukelani, I did not miss out on you. Snovia, of course, I know you are here. You must be here. It is a duty for all of you to be here. And Brother Ernest Parker said, brothers up. I know, Ernest, I saw when you dropped this. I saw when this comment came up. And at this point, it is exactly 9:35 p.m. when you dropped out this comment. Because that was when Brother Maponga was saying, I am speaking on the behalf of all men. I speak on the behalf of my great-grandfather's sons, sons-in-laws, siblings out in the diaspora, all the men, right? And I saw you drop that. Brothers are up. And you put the up like wonderful. I'm loving this. I love the brand. I love the brand. This is the spirit of Agebulan. This is the spirit of the ancient African. Why we just come here, celebrate one another, speak on the behalf of one another, take the responsibility to say, I own up for every word that I speak on behalf of my people. That is too much power. That is power. That is responsibility. Titus Bidley, thank you. I saw you also here. It's not easy for people to speak on the behalf of others. Most of us are just so shy. That's why we don't speak up. That's why we don't hold on the flag. That's why we don't hold love in the name of others. That's why we don't lay down our pride, our ego. That's why we don't give even our monies, our possession to the poor, to the needy, to the weary. Because we don't take responsibility. And it starts just by saying, I speak on the behalf of all. So that was very, very powerful. That was so essential. If we can stand up every day and we speak on the behalf of one another, because you know that we are one. So that kind of rhetoric. It's just my own opinion. It's just my own contribution. It's just my own word. No, it's our word. King Maponga said it today. S.A. Smith, I welcome you here. Titus Bedley, Ryan, I already know your name. Titus, that responsibility of taking that opportunity to say, I speak on the behalf of my generation. Come on, I want to see you do a video on that, to be honest. Because it takes a lot of courage. Shabaka, thank you for being here. It takes a lot of strength to speak on the behalf of your people. Malcolm did it. Marcus Garvey did it. Kwame Crow did it. Tobet Harriet, Tubman Harriet, Queen Zinga, all these queens and kings, Baba Magafuli, they spoke on the behalf of all of us with no fear. Confidently, they spoke. So yes, be ready to speak on the behalf of your people. Stand up and carry up the banner of peace, of love, okay? And yes, speak on the behalf of all of us. When you say you're watching from Toronto, thank you so very much. Apology accepted, Ayoka, for coming late. Apologies accepted for the first time. Nathaniel Turner, you say you're watching from Oregon. Thank you. Kwame Stevens, you see? Now that I shout out and I call you now, I still see you coming up. Marvin Cole, you say, oh my God, I miss it. Or you can never miss it. This is the best part because you have to watch and watch and watch and watch. We are rewriting the story. Ronita Elise, thank you, 1212. The galaxies, 1212. I hope all your phones do ring on 1212. You know what we mean. 1212 galaxies. No you, no me, no me, no you. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Ronita. Cheryl, doing a marvelous work. Yes. East Texas, Parker. Thank you. Eastern Texas. Thank you. Vanessa, you say so sorry, but here, this was a wonderful teaching in America, but love our African family. We're so beautiful beyond measures. That's just it, Vanessa. Vanessa, you are just that. That is it. Chefsu Napata, our brother from the islands in the Caribbean. I see you here. Thank you so much. L Proudness 1000 from the UK. Thank you. Peace, peace, love, and blessings. African beautiful looking royals. That's who we are. That's who we are. Kuto Anyika, my sister. This is Kuto, a man from the diaspora. I love you all. I love my continent. I love my people. Keep on doing the great work. Always remember the Caribbean Africans in your prayers. Of course, we are one. We just one. We remember everyone. We remember every one of us. Okay, every one of us. Where are you broadcasting now from, Dr. Tatah? I'm broadcasting now from the US. Okay. Yes. Sister Tata, I miss everything. I have to rewatch. Yes, don't worry. You have time. Just relax. Can you imagine? You just chilling out and enjoying yourself and watching to this and thanking so much power. Peter Makara, thank you. Pieta. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Maponga. Last week, I miss your church, and I love it. One Africa. We love you too. Nati P, the general, we love you so much. Rakane, thanking you. Dr. Tata, did you ever think about climate change and that it might be deliberate in order to tint the sky and stop the sun radiation on their skin? That has always been it. It's not even a question. You see, it has always been it. And you see, that's what I like them. They actually want to, they do everything that they know that could be a problem to the stars. Look at the clouds. They're not man-made most of the time. They're manipulated. There's clouds that actually will stop the skies, the sun from hitting directly into the skin types, that the different skin types of humanity. And most of these skin types are actually being interrupted. That's why we have like skin cancers and burns and stuff like that. Yes, so it's true. It is true. It's a manipulation of it because of the conditions of which we're living on Earth. It's not like before. We've destroyed basically everything. That's why we have to protect. You just have to look at it when you are boarding a flight or after you pass the first, second, three clouds, everything is just the sky and it's just sunny, sunny, sunny. So you can imagine. So you know that the first three clouds and stuff like that is not, I don't know. Okay. So, but those are solutions that we're solving the crisis that we are in. Some get the penetration of the sun and they get the skin burns. Just be attentive and pay attention to everything around you. The problem is most of us don't even know what is happening around us. We just look at someone say nimbo cloud, nimbo cloud. When they want the rain to fall, it falls. When they want snow, at sometimes it falls. When they don't want it, it doesn't. So who is that God that will tell you it will rain next week and it rained? Because I will manipulate it and then it will rain. Manipulate it, not that it's for any bad intention. It must not, everything that we do in terms of development technology must not always be bad. It's not always bad. Most of it, our living conditions like we used to live in the past has changed. Look at the world demographics. Look at the population today. It's not the population that we used to have in ancient Egypt. You understand? A lot of dynamics have been brought through technology and stuff like that. So some of the things that are actually putting out there is not only negative, right? So, but we need to pay close attention. Patricia Alituha, thank you so much for your teachings too. Thank you for the feedback. Sister Tata, it's like, I love it. I don't know. Haya, she's working that outfit. Oh, look at this. Do you want this one? This is super queen royals. Look at the hands and stuff. But it's also for the kings. And if I get up, it's a whole bunch of right down there, you know. So it's the royal trail, is it's called. I design all my stuff and the colors and everything. And if you want it, we're gonna be getting it on the Pan African Daily merchandising, queens and royals articles made from us by us. Yes. It is okay. Yes, the likes are growing. Thank you so very much for moderating. Hilly Duvalier, it's been long, Hilly. I can really tell you that from St. Vincent. I know you so much. I know all of you. This is one thing you need to be very, very cautious with on this Pan African Daily. It's been 2 years. Even the newly family members, I know all of you. Some of you still go, come back in other forms and other names. I know when you write. I know who is who. I know who my siblings are. I know who my children are. I know all of you. That's how much we are connected. That's how deep this thing is going. Okay. I know you. Even when you stay for a longer time, you don't come. When I just drink my water, I know you. Hilly, I know you. And I know it's been long. You've not been on the show. Whatever has been keeping you away, Hilly, please, I hope all is fine with you. Family is doing well. When my people hail St. Vincent and Grenadine. Yeah, we're coming out there. I'll be streaming sometimes from there. Don't be just that I'm in this town. I'll be in Colombia, I'll be in the Caribbean, and I exactly will be streaming from every other spot that will be. Okay, yes. It's all about the mobilization of our people, connecting, being in their place, wearing their shoes, knowing their histories, know how they feel, cry, laugh, and whatever thing. That's just about it, okay? Technology, you say originally from the Caribbean but living in the UK. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think, yes, we are exactly 2 hours on a mission, and I think we are really good to go. Revolutionary 2, thank you so very much. Thank you from Georgia. Thank you from Georgia. I know, you know why? Because only us here, it's pretty much, I think, 12 p.m. or 1 on the continent right now. You see, so most of us, we're celebrating, we're enjoying our time space out here. So yes, thank you. You're looking beautiful, doctor. Thank you so much. Because you look beautiful, automatically you see me beautiful. And that's what is called self-love. That's it. When people see you are beautiful, it's because they themselves, they're beautiful. They see themselves beautiful. If you have beautiful eyes, every other thing you see is beauty. That's what we talk about self-love. If you appreciate me, most of you who come here like, oh, Dr. Susan, you look beautiful. It's because you're just beautiful yourself. So you see only beautiful things. Yes, and Queen Nanny of Jamaica. Exactly. Who is this? Queen Nanny of Jamaica? I have to work and to get her, to know my queen. We are all fearless, Benjamin. Fear who? Fear who? How can I fear myself? I create me and I fear me. No, 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 no. Our stories, movies, and presentation. Yes, Mr. Parker, we're getting to that point. Even comedy. We need comedians here to just make us laugh. Do you know any brother, sister that is in the comedy thing? We just need sometimes to sit and relax and laugh and laugh and laugh. That's one thing. We really laugh less. We need to laugh more. We need to laugh more. So if you are having a talent, Pan-African talent in comedy, please, all right, musicians, poet, storytellers, we need all of you here on the Pan-African Daily. And so when we say our hosts, our guests, it's not just only people that are coming here actually to lecture to us about, it's everything, our talents and everything that we've been made. We need a lot of people that just come here and just sing. Let's just have a singing. And next Sunday, to be honest with you, we're going to integrate the church service with music. So be aware. If you are a singer, a good one, but you know what we're talking about, conscious singing, Pan-African songs, Pan-African movies, Pan-African comedians. If you're not for One Africa, you're not for African at home and abroad, please don't show us your face here. Okay. Yes, we are for that one spirit of love. Or yes, show your face. We're going to get you integrated into the family. I'm sorry for my French. So yes, show all your faces in as much as the look is mine. All right. I've been exhausted. I've done my work. And we see us tomorrow. There's a sister, the sister that could not come out yesterday is going to come up tomorrow. Our sister from South Sudan. I hope they have light out there now. Even if she's not coming, we're going to get a guest. Or Monica is going to be, I think Monica is even on Monday. Anyway, just tune in. Sean Blendman from Barbados. From Barbados. Sean, how are you? How are you? You look like my son. Sean, I mean, I don't know somebody in my age that they were named in that, those names. That's why when I look at the names, we can also still say. I would love to get some of those outfits. They are very beautiful. Dr. Susan Tatah. Hey, I'm Okelani. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with me. You see the designs. Or when we put them on the merchandise, the match should be coming out mid November. Cheryl was saying something like that. Really, I'm not sure, but mid December we should be able to launch our merch and stuff like that. And we're gonna get royal designs, simple designs made from us to us. And we also want to start dressing dress code on the Pan-African Daily. Anything that is not of us, how please? No. Okay, so we watch our hair scarves for the men and the women, right? And so when we are on services like this, we need to look royal. We'll be doing a lot of galas. And these galas, we need to look the royals that we are. Okay. And this is done by our projects, our women projects on the continent. Young girls. This one is everything you see me wear here is done by Femi. Femi is Yemi is my little daughter, in Germany. And she has her machine at home. And I take everything that I want and I say, design me anything. And she comes up with all amazing stuff. All right. And so, yes, we empower our young ones, our women in the continent to get, machines at home and they design for us. So everything you're going to see on our merchandising is a project. It's a project for small enterprises. So we have to buy and buy and buy. Begin to refurbish your wardrobes right now as I'm talking to you, because there will not be space for any trash. You're just going to throw everything that doesn't, fit into that space. This is the new spirit of the Akebulan, and we have to look like what we say we are, royals. Okay. Thank you so much. And even how to carry our hair and the type of braids. Even if we're going to wear our extra hair, they must be kinky. They look like us. Anything that is of us, we just enjoy the harmony, the physical, the spiritual, and everything that comes with it. So it's a whole package. It's a whole package. It's a whole package coming out there to us. Wow. Okay. Yes. But honestly, to be honest with you, most of the designs, like these ones, these are really handmade, aesthetic, really expensive. To be honest with you, yes, because I honor it. I honor my culture and honor the designs. I really honor it. It has like gold. It's just that because I'm in the studio, it's everything. We are royals. I cannot imagine the day we'll make a royal gala. Pan-African Royal Gala. Where is it supposed to be? Give me your destination, your location. It's going to happen as soon as possible. Okay. Thank you so very much. I love you all and blessings, blessings, blessings. You know how it's so difficult for us to just separate? You know it. You know how we can work this thing up to 4 hours and we used to do it, be here 4 or 5 hours and just enjoy ourselves and just talk and just laugh and just share comments. A beautiful spirit is priceless and dress it up. You see? That's Queen Cheryl. That's Queen Cheryl. Good night. Get it right. I know some of you must go, must also go, but like I see, the moment I say I'm going and I see the numbers popping up, it's just like, oh, am I really going to leave you guys like this? You're drinking your water and minding your own Africa business. Therefore, please drink. Even our logos and our drink tops are coming up with these slogans. I already told you that. A lot of them. And you'll see them on our merch shops. And sometimes I laugh and I know Pan-African Daily TV family, at some point in time, when we are on the street, everybody will just know us from what we wear, how we speak, what we drink, and even our laughter and our joy. Everybody will just know this community here just from our attitude, the way we carry, the way we package, the way we package. Okay. So, yes, I love all of you so very much. But you see, I have to go. I have to go. Great blackness. You look so beautiful. And I am truly beautiful. I just don't look. I am truly, truly beautiful. And like I said, it's because you are just so damn beautiful as well. We have to become investors in the future of our children. Wonderful, Rakohen. You see, we had this conversation of the mining. Those of you that are on this service that did not watch the conversation yesterday, please just go. Just go and watch it, because we get into negotiation with the president of Congo, who is sitting on the world's diamond, and we want to build a corporation to go and get our own mining slot. If you did not watch that conversation yesterday, please make sure you do. Just like our brother is saying, we have to become investors in the future of our children. I know that all of us, most of us here, are so rich, incredible, materially, spiritually, we are wealthy. We are wealthy like never before. But something happened that we could not trust each other. Where am I putting this wealth into? Which presidents will guarantee not to rob us who are not corrupt? Are we sure we are going to be putting this wealth to build our communities? That is what has destroyed us from not trusting and putting our money where our mouth is, like Queen Mother Dr. Arikana Shikomoriko is saying. But today we are building our family and our connection. We know each other here. That's why I say I know all of you. Nobody is in for small, petty business. We are in for our people, to develop our people. None of us is here looking to fly a jet. None of us is here looking to own some billions and just provoke others. The spirit of the Pan-African Daily TV and all this global family, none of us here have just a 1% interest at heart. It's all about us or nothing. And so, yes, don't be afraid. We are going to open even our cooperative on the Pan-African Daily where we put all our money. We're going to open our own currencies because we know who we are and we trust the process and we know we are the chosen. We are not here for any show off. None of us have that interest. We're just here to elevate ourselves through our means, no matter how small they are. But we know we are big than any other thing. So yes, I know we're going to be the richest, no doubt about it. And what we're starting and looking at it as small, wait until we take it to that next level. Okay? Don't worry. We need our channel. We need just being with 1,000 of you in just some of us. I don't know any business that can reach out in such a small space of time. And if you want us to even get our 100 subscribers plaque, please do us some favor. We have just 3 weeks to run to get 100 subscribers, 100,000. Be a volunteer. Be a volunteer. Come as you are and say, I am reaching out to get at least 50, 100 subscribers, and we're going to hit our target. Okay? Yes. I trust you. I know we can do it. So we see ourselves again tomorrow. And good night to all of you. We can already see it. We can already see a united Africa. We are already in it. We're just celebrating it. You can't you see? Go on every space. Africans are telling their stories. It's so amazing. I still have to do a particular session on this. I just have to do a particular session to show you how Black we are, how African the world has become in just this little space of time. If you are not paying attention, if you are not recognizing it, I will show you all the proof. Go to the TikTokers. Go to every platform we have hijacked it. Whether you call it the real Whether you call it the Facebook, the YouTube, the LinkedIn, the TikTok, the Snapchat, we hijack everything. We're everywhere, unstoppable. And 80%, what are they doing? Just being proud of their blackness. Being proud of their blackness. Talking black. Just talking black. Just talking Africa. Just talking African. Just talking melanated. Just talking humanity. Just talking nature. That's all we're busy doing. It is 80%. Give us 2-3 years. 2-3 years and watch us. So don't be discouraged. Don't be afraid. It's your time and no one is stopping you. And to be honest with you, humanity is so happy that they have you, that we have you. Everyone is so happy. Yes. The world is so happy. They look at you, they admire you, just happy. They look at transition everywhere, how you're designing music, culture, everything that you're beginning to design. Nature, love for one another, peace, unity, harmony, balance, justice. You're designing everything. You're recreating. You're taking it back to bring the world into what our ancestors, the Most High, the Creator, the Spirit, the Divinity, the universe, the spaceship, everything that was meant to be. You're now redesigning it. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so proud. I'm so humbled to be in this space at this time and having this conversation with you. Okay. So yes, good night, my people. We see us tomorrow. And like I say, tuko pamoja, miaka. Blessings to all of you. Bye. Wow, what was this? You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tatah. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.